right. Welcome to the third quarter podcast show today, and this will be a real good round table discussion today. But table ain't round, but it's good enough. Yeah. But let me get a shout out to our sponsors. One of our sponsors, Uncle Rob Auto on East 7 Mile Road, 11931, located in Detroit, and also Basil Tailoring, 18055 East 8 Mile and East Point Road. Today, my co-host, 5 Stars here.
Hello.
And I'm not doing too much talking today.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, cause
I can handle it.
yeah, okay. And also we have some special guests in the show today. They all know. I don't even have to introduce him. But they all know Cliche.
Oh my goodness.
The infamous.
They all know Cliche.
Oh, yeah.
I just started listening.
We
I already know all about it.
Cliche. We don't have to introduce Cliche.
Oh,
That's
my
my
goodness.
man. I love him. I'm gonna let 5 Star. You take over.
Oh, okay.
Oh, should I say?
Yes,
My name
we
is
were.
Keena.
Scoot up a little bit.
Talking to the
Oh,
mic.
I'm sorry, Keena.
This is your distant lover talking, or DL for short.
That's right.
Distant love.
Well, welcome everyone. Well, today's topic is healthy relationships. So we want to start. Well, actually, I want to start out with a quote that I found that was really cool, and it says, "A healthy relationship will never require you to sacrifice your friends, your dreams, or your dignity." And I think that sums it all up for me. Now, what I want to know, what your characteristics are for a healthy relationship. And we can start with Dio. You want to start?
Oh, communication is absolutely on top. I mean, any relationship, whether it be with your family, your friends, your lover, whatever it is. I mean, us as men have hard time with that, but I feel like the more time we spend talking to each other, the more that's going to open up. And whether it be with your kids or your friends, whatever, just keep talking. And that's all I can stress on that one.
But that's a good one because Cassine talks about that as well. And it's very difficult for men in the United States to be vulnerable and to communicate and to be expressive. So that's a good one.
Vulnerability, like you said, that's number one, because if you can't be vulnerable around your lover, then who can you be with?
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, because
But that's how it should be, but it's not necessarily
everybody want to be so damn tough when it comes to relationships now in the 21st century, and that's the problem. Everybody is playing tug of war with each other.
Or walking
That I
around with that
noticed.
armor.
Yeah.
You know, like
Men
especially here
and
in
women.
Detroit. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't have that armor, it's like, what are we doing? A friend told me this one time. We pull up in front of a party store and it's getting rowdy. And they're like, you should go in there. I'm like, why? They're like, you're much better at putting yourself in harm's way. I'm like, absolutely.
Wow,
what,
that
you know,
vulnerability.
and so, you know, you got to put yourself in harm's way. And sometimes the struggle and the disagreements is healthy. You know, people want their safe spaces, but arguments and having disagreements spurs conversation.
It does. It does. Well, I remember watching Nipsey Hussle's funeral, and Lauren London said that she was able to take off her cool mask, and I thought that was just something. You know, she was totally vulnerable to him, you know, and that's why they had a great relationship. And Keena, what about you? What is a characteristic for you?
I definitely think that communication is key.
Scoot up, sweetie, a little bit to the mic.
Into the
I'm
microphone.
sorry.
Yeah, you
You see
good.
Communication is definitely key. However you look at anything, and honesty. Honesty
It's a big
is
one.
that is number one. Do not go into anything without being honest.
Put your cards on the table,
Always.
Exactly.
even if people don't think others want to see them cards. That it makes it even more important.
Yes, because you never know what the outcome might be. Ever.
Cliche. Uh-oh.
Um,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna introduce something new.
Okay. Let's hear it.
And I'm just going to use the word being genuine.
Yep.
That everything counts, but being genuine is something that's rare because we live in such a image-based society today, and people are more focused on being seen and what people's impression of them is. That actually being genuine means you get to be who you are, because no matter what your strengths or weaknesses are, they get to come out then. He used communication. Communication is not something that we are good at, strong at, but when you're genuine, people tend to give you a pass and try to work with you so y'all can meet in the middle. Because if a person, like say, if they could take their mask off with you, then you good to go. You know what I'm saying? And then if you can't grow from that point, then it's natural. There's no conflict.
I agree.
But being genuine is something that I think is a part of the foundation.
Yeah, and I call it, I don't usually say genuine. I say just be your authentic self. Yeah, because I cannot be in a relationship where I just can't be me totally. I've had people say, well, hey, why do you say that? You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't dress this way. And I know immediately it's not going to work because I'm going to become more of myself in the relationship. And if you can't accept me now, it's going to be a problem. And it's going to be a toxic relationship.
And when you take off your mask, it makes people more comfortable to take theirs off as
Yeah,
well.
I agree. I agree.
And
I gotta change
so
it.
if you're hiding, they're gonna hide. Absolutely.
Well, that's what the number one problem right now is today, because a lot of people go into relationships lying about who they are. But I always know there's always either one person, then not the other.
Well, everybody's got that Instagram face on. Like, put that smile. Oh, we got to look good for the social media, and it literally brainwashes us. I mean, I got a boy that just did a fast from social media, and he says you wouldn't believe how cleansing that is. He's like, I'm reading more books. I'm hanging out more with my spouse. The little time adds up. Sitting on the toilet, looking at that Instagram, sitting over here,
Every minute
waiting
of the
in
day.
line at the bank.
Yes.
You can't allow ourselves to be bored anymore.
But you know what, too? If people really, I wish people just take one day and count up the times, the minutes, the hours they be on the social media and average that up and notice what else you can do with that time besides looking at your phone. And it adds up to a lot. And now the phones track how much time you be on social media.
Oh, they do.
And I was like, wow, I can't believe how much time I'm wasting just looking at the same things all the time. And it's sad because people are starting to use that for relationships.
Well, I'm not on social media, so
Oh,
I use my time wisely.
well, the first thing we do when we meet somebody, we go social media stalking.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's go see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what? It's ups and downs to it. A
To what?
person,
Social media?
to the perception of social media. I was looking at Steve Harvey's show the other day, and he had 3 notable women that was on there that was talking about dating, and he had somebody from ESPN, Carrie Champion. He had 2 bloggers and somebody else, and they were talking about the differences between being on social media and not being on social media. One of the ladies said that she think that anybody that's not on social media is a weirdo. Then Carrie Champion, who's on ESPN, who's a part of the she's a part of being on TV. She's a part of the media. She said, well, you can't really say that somebody is or isn't this, that, and other because they on social media. But if you notice it, people who don't do things might look at it one way. People who do things look at it another way. But when you said social media in the first place and I said genuine, that's what I was getting at. People put up a perception of who they may be or this, that, and other. But social media don't change that. Because I know some fake people that ain't got no social media. I know people on social media every day that's fake, but people lose sight of the fact that it's entertainment. So when people trying to do too much, it can lead you in the right direction. But it's just like everything else. It's like we got a engineer here. And it might be his job to produce this show or something like that. If he do a bad job, the show don't come out good. Social media could be used in the same aspect. If people use their social media wrong, it could paint the wrong picture of you.
It's already doing that.
Right. But when you trying to tie yourself into somebody, who you are on social media and who you are with that person up front and personal, it could go, way left or it could stay on track. But being genuine is this. Like, you can only display so much on social media. When the last time you seen somebody put on social media, I'm a bad parent,
Oh, right.
or
for sure.
I'm a crackhead, or my wall's dirty.
They still smoke crack?
Yeah, people still smoke crack.
I didn't know they still sell it.
Yeah.
I didn't know they still. I thought they moved up.
If they don't, then there's a couple people out there doing it way
Oh,
wrong.
hey, I ain't heard nothing about no crack, but whoever doing it, they gotta have some money.
Yeah, but at the
It's
end of the
rare
day,
now.
yeah, we all got our perceptions, and we have to learn how to grow with the individual that we meet, because everybody we meet is a new book. It's a new book you got to study, because ain't none of us know better than nobody else.
But you know what's really hilarious? And I was telling Keena this. I didn't have women call me through Facebook. Literally call me.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing now.
I didn't met women, if it was a dating site or out, send me a friend request that fast. I didn't actually do that. And I was like, it's unbelievable how aggressive things are. Now, if women is doing that to me, I can imagine what y'all women are going through with these men.
Well, I have no idea, so I'm not on. Like I said, I'm not on social media. Like
You on some other sites.
Stop
it! You on some other sites.
So it all counts.
But think of it like this: if it's on private, though, how are
Right.
they going to get in if it's private?
Listen to this.
Right.
I'm
Well,
on
it's that messenger makes it where they can get in.
Well, you still have to accept it. But I'll tell you this. I've been on social media for 10 years. I've never been on a dating site. Never. Not one. I have not one profile. You know how people look you up? I have not one profile on not a dating site. I have a Facebook. I have an Instagram. And I have a Snapchat. I don't even. I use
too
the
old for Snapchat.
No, listen to me. But see, I don't. All I do is
too
use.
old for
Listen to
Snapchat.
me. No, I'm not. Listen to me, right? I use Snapchat for the
too old
videos.
for Snapchat.
Listen, I use it for the videos. Instagram is a stunting site. You stunt on Instagram, but on my social media, I put up 57 line posts because I push a lot of stuff for society, and I push a lot of constructive stuff through my Facebook.
But look what you just said. Each one of them sites, you used it for what you want to use it for.
Right.
Right. I don't
Each
even
one of
use
your
the
sites.
Snapchat, but I
No,
like the
I'm-
video.
But I'm saying each one of them, you just label what you have each one of them sites for.
Right.
So if you doing that, imagine what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And imagine the little people that's not doing it, because I've been on Facebook since 2009.
Right.
And everybody, I look at this like, whatever how you put yourself out there on the media,
Right.
later you probably can't change people not going to believe you.
No.
I didn't see people go on there and talk about women twerking, all this stuff. Now all of a sudden they pastors. You can't. How is you gonna believe? It's hard. It's hard for somebody to really believe when everybody out here is looking for something to believe in, looking into something to hope for, and that's the same thing they doing with relationships, and that's why a lot of relationships not healthy.
Well, so I've recently been on these YouTube videos, and there's this guru out there, and she stresses real hard that the person you date is what you're putting out there. It comes back to you. So these
I
people
agree.
that say, what am I doing wrong? I'm attracting these negative people or attracting this certain kind of person. They need to do their own healing before they can even think about what's going on externally, because they're putting that out there for whatever reason they're doing. And it's hard because no one wants to look in the mirror. Everybody wants to just point and say, this person's doing to me. Well, what are you doing to the world and putting that energy out there that's coming back at you like that? And that's that self-healing tip. So how do we get past not being able to look in the mirror like that? It's hard. It's really hard.
And then too, a lot of things too, when they say they starting to self-love themselves and they starting to look in the mirror, and then as soon as something bad happened to them, whatever, it could be a car accident, anything, they quickly go back to their old self.
Well,
because that's what they know.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's their comfort
And
zone.
that's the real challenge in self-love and making sure and understanding yourself first, because there's no way you could be able to help anybody else
But
if you do not fix yourself first. And a lot of people don't want to
Exactly.
fix themselves.
But see, it's the responsibility of the individual to select people who have done their process. They've
Right.
done their inner work, their introspection, and everything. So when you're on these dates, you need to ask questions about things like that, and notice if they're bitter, if they're angry, and things like that. Because if they are, you need to filter those people out and keep it moving.
Yeah.
I mean,
part
that's
of
very,
having
very
a healthy
important.
relationship, because a lot of people, like what I say, first 15, 20 minutes of a conversation and you going out on date with somebody, you know something ain't right, or something is right. And a lot of people sit there and, oh, well, I just maybe, it's okay.
It'll get better.
And,
Yeah.
and these are the
Maybe I can
things-
help them a little, because a lot of people think they can help.
No, you cannot.
And these are the things you're not learning from their Instagram or their Facebook. So get out there and actually interact with these people. Don't just judge from what you see on the little screen in front of your hand. So make your own assumption through personal development, through socialization.
Listen,
Exactly.
I put a post on social media today that said this: if you put in the work and sacrifice and do everything you need to do to get where you need to be in life, you don't have to spend as much time worrying about what people think about you.
You
People,
shouldn't at all, though.
people, but see, it's easy to say, but it's not. It's not. That's not reality. The reality of it is, like, things are different today. So a lot of people, I can't just speak for myself. I just speak for the masses, because I'm not always gonna have the same opinion as somebody else. I'm not always gonna live my life like somebody else. But I will say this: if you are where you're supposed to be and you put in the work to get where you need to be, you're not gonna worry as much about somebody else's perception of you, because you're comfortable with who you are. So now you don't have to put up a front. So now people will enter dating situations but not be where they need to be in their lives. So then they have to be something that they're not. Because being where you are does not give you the right to treat somebody else like they're beneath you, but you could be more comfortable with exposing yourself to somebody new if you already where you need to be.
But it's a lot of people out here now that are unhealthy and still trying to date.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for it in
Yeah,
something else.
Listen,
right.
that's
several
missing with them.
several shows ago, I said I don't date. People looked at me like I was crazy. People who was looking at it on my page, people who was in the room, they was looking at me like I'm crazy. And I say, I don't date. I opt not to. Well, what do you do? I stayed to myself and I took out time to get myself together.
Exactly.
And then I built friendships with people around me. And then at times I allow people to assume, but the people closest to me, when people trying to play matchmaker or trying to introduce me to people, the people who truly know me will bring people who constructive close to me. When I'm doing what I need to do for myself, sometimes things just fall in place. But a lot of people don't want to hear this. I'm not ready. When I wasn't dating, I wasn't ready. I was married a long time. I got divorced. I needed to get my heart together. I needed to get myself together. I wasn't ready.
How long it took you to get your heart together?
About 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just took out the time. I took out the time to focus because I was trying to change my lifestyle too. I came from a faster lifestyle. I was trying to do more to foundate myself as a man instead of just being an image. I had an image for 20, 25 years. So then I had to foundate myself as a man. So I had to work on being a better parent, being a better son, being a better friend, being a better brother. So these things became to me more important than trying to chase somebody.
Well,
Companionship.
It took me way longer than 2 years to get my heart right. It took me at least 10.
Well, it took me that 2.5
Because-
years just to
yeah.
get ready to be able to deal with what was
it
new.
took you 2, but it took me 10 because my weight is more heavier than yours.
Right.
Because I have a son involved.
Okay.
And people have to understand that everybody has something with them that they have to deal with. And are you really ready to get out here and really start dating?
I don't like it. I don't like what's out here today. I'm
Why is
sorry.
that? Why is that?
Because I think what it is that I matured, and then I had to be mindful that I wasn't living my life the right way for a very long time. So a lot of the things that I attracted in my old lifestyle, I didn't want in trying to mature.
In your new life.
And yeah, and when like the closer I got to being more responsible on a day-to-day basis, I didn't want the image that came along with the street life. So a lot of the things, it's a lot. It's a lot more that goes into living your life the right way. And when you live in your life the right way, I want to be connected to someone who's living their life the right way.
And that's
Absolutely.
why I said it took me longer than it took you.
Yeah.
Because everything you said, it wasn't just overnight.
I'm still messed up.
Well, being conscious of that is very important.
is.
That's
We
the
had
first
a lot
step.
of people walking out there just blind.
We was
Yes.
having this conversation in the parking lot. And like he literally walked up to me and told me who I was. He said, "You the guy who turned around on back of the road."
See there?
You know what I'm saying?
Cliche, you gonna start paying for some of these shows. man. I'm finna start putting down Cliche as a sponsor. Because look at that. Look at that.
But like I said, when I'm a little bit more judgmental now. The one thing that I can say I don't like about myself now than the way I was years before, I'm more judgmental now. When I wasn't living my life right, I didn't care what flaws you had. Now that I'm trying to live my life right,
You're more conscious.
well, I was always conscious, but I accepted that this came with my lifestyle.
Okay.
But see now that I'm doing the right thing, I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to be close to that. I'm straight. Red flag.
Well, you know that
Running
even,
emoji
that
with the
even
smoke
goes
behind
with me. I don't even if I know people that's doing the wrong thing, I just don't judge them. I just don't have to involve
I agree.
myself.
Right.
I agree.
That's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying. I
That's-
distance myself
Right.
from it.
Yeah,
Well, I don't
distancing.
distance myself because I don't want to be their friend.
No, I
I'm
distance
still
myself from
their friend, but I know how to handle them different.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I think judgment is the key word there.
Yeah.
Because in relationships, everybody wants to point to the bad guy. Because if you're pointing at the bad guy, it ain't you.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, there's
That's
always a bad.
always
When two
judgment.
people don't work out, there's always a bad guy. It don't have to be.
Even in people looking at your relationship from on the other side of the fence, they're judging. You
Right.
know? I mean,
Always,
it's
always,
always
judging.
that.
You know, I told my wife, even when we were going through our problems, when I walked away, I was gone for a year. I told my wife our problems were personal. I mean, they were to stay in house. So we might work it out. So we need to be private about our business because I don't care how long I'm going. You my wife. So if things work out, I'm willing to come back home and do whatever needs to be done to build that foundation. There's not a lot of privacy today. There's not a lot of privacy. So once my problems became public, I was less willing to work on them.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
You're withdrawn at that
Yeah,
point.
because guess what? When I leave here and people don't see me in the world, I go home and my image stops at the door. And when I walk in that door, that's where I'm responsible for being the man at first, because I had a family. I'm a father. You know, I have children. I have a family that I have to take care of. So that's where there is no mask. That's where it ain't no like button. People so worried about that like button outside of their household that you got to foundate yourself wherever you are, whether it's somebody in the household or not. So guess what? I allow people to assume, and no matter what, I'm always going to be viewed for who I was yesterday. That's cool. It's a part of my business. It's a part of my brand. But guess what? My children don't see that person that I have in the image. My mother don't see that. My wife, I've been married twice, but the women that I was married to, they don't see, that person that was in my image. They see the man that they were with. So my foundation as a man is what needs to be important to the people around me. My friends, we relate with one another, and we leave here. He could come over to my house. We could sit down. We could have a conversation, and we men. So when we on this camera, we men. When we leave here and we have conversations in the world, we have conversations as men. When he come to my house, we have conversations as men. That's carrying on the torch, being who I'm supposed to be in all likenesses. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? And as being men, it got to be more men like us to show these women that we're men. Because a lot of these men ain't showing women that they're men. They showing them that they little boys.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
Well,
And that's part of a healthy relationship.
in addition to that,
Come on,
I
Miss Kenya,
think-
you got something.
in addition
ahead.
to that, I think that respect is a major characteristic
Yes.
of a healthy relationship.
Oh,
Major.
wait.
And when I'm saying respect, I'm not talking about the traditional, well, if you say something to me in the wrong tone, I'm not talking about that. It goes back to that you just allowing that person to be who they are, you supporting them in their growth, and they're supporting you in your growth. And that's what that is.
Now,
That's
let me-
my definition of
I want to
respect.
ask DL. I ain't got to ask Cliche. And Keena. And Keena. What is I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay,
It
DL, and
was something good too. I should have just wrote it down.
It'll come back to you.
I'm like, he didn't throw me off.
you had something to say.
Yeah, Keena got something more to say. I forgot
Yeah,
I was finna
because
say.
we were talking about respect, and
Yes, and you see, I'm just like, I think that should be given in everyday life. Everyday life, it should be respect. Every day, you need to respect the person. Anybody that you're talking to, the person on the street, anybody. The way, I'm going to piggyback off a cliche, the way you carry yourself and the way you portray yourself is how people look at you. So, if if you're not portraying yourself in a healthy way, you're going to keep picking up all the trash. You're going to keep picking up all the garbage. And who wants to continue to do that forever?
Yeah.
Really?
well, if you want a healthy relationship, that's not the way to go about
Right,
it.
exactly.
But yeah, you do your work and keep it moving and make sure you filter properly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you as a strong woman, what does respect mean to you in a relationship?
Respect means honesty. No personas, like he said. No personas. Come to me genuinely. Communicate. If you can't communicate with me, then what's the point? You can't have a relationship by yourself.
Microphone.
Nobody can.
Microphone.
Nobody can have a relationship by themselves, and that is number one key for me.
But with honesty, you have to give it and also receive it.
Oh yeah.
Because, you can be honest about what you think all day long, but if you can't hear what the other person's saying,
Well, you
then
have
that
to be
two-way
open.
street is closed.
Right. You have to be open. You have to be open within that communication.
Have you noticed something? No matter how old we get, mature, seasoned, whatever you want to call it, we still need instructions every day. We still trying to learn how to meet people, build something.
I'm going to have to
do
disagree
something.
with that.
Right.
You know why I'm going to have to disagree with that? Because I done made too many mistakes. And I don't make mistakes no more.
But you one person. So again,
Yeah.
Well, you don't
one
make the
person.
same mistakes.
Mistakes.
Right. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, no matter how old we are, if we're not where we want to be, not where we need to be, if we're not where we want to be, and we're trying to build foundations, the one thing about it is that we have to build a foundation with somebody who's not us. You got to build a foundation with someone else. So building a foundation like with our children is different than building a foundation with a significant other. We got to get to know that person. We actually have to bond, come together, agree, get along, then try to build something. Because if it was that easy, we'll all have it.
Yeah, but you know what? It should be that easy.
Yeah.
It should be. And
If you're
I'm
ready.
still growing in my life.
If you're ready.
That's the key. If you're ready.
And I'm still
Yes.
growing in my life. I'm still working. I'm still going to school. I'm still doing the things I need to do. But I know how to.
Why?
If I meet. What do you mean why?
Why? Why? You know why I do all those
Because I'm
things?
always bettering myself.
Want me to be honest? Want me to tell you why I did all those things?
What
you did?
things?
Going back to school. Doing yeah.
You talking about me right now, Cliche?
Right. I'm talking about so why.
You talking about me
No,
right
but
now,
listen,
brother.
listen.
No.
But I
don't
said
need-
why you doing it.
Listen, you tell me why. What I just said is already
Right,
already
but I'm
been
saying,
answered.
but why are you doing it?
I'm bettering myself,
For?
not for a woman,
No, I didn't say you was doing it for a woman.
for me.
Okay.
For personal growth.
Yes.
For
Personal
personal
growth.
growth. But
All right.
even in the struggles of doing that, if I meet a woman and start dating her, whatever I'm dealing with here, I don't have to bring it here because this person is supposed to be my peace.
Right.
My future peace, beginning peace, whatever it be. I can't get the best out of her if I'm still ain't shit.
That was the That's why I asked.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people can't go through. They can't deal with all that and then do a relationship. They can't handle that. It's too much pressure. Me and you can handle pressure like that because what we've been through growing up. But a lot of people can't. And it's so different now because they always looking at this social media and think they need change.
The next best thing.
Yeah. You know, they always think they need change. They always think you could be with somebody and think you in a healthy relationship and you not.
But it goes back to what I was saying. It's your responsibility to assess the situation and to determine if, in fact, it is healthy. And if it's not, you need to discard that relationship or distance yourself or whatever you want to do with it and keep it moving.
I honestly think I honestly think that too many people are focused on what somebody can do for them, and not a lot of people are focused on trying to be happy.
You know what?
okay,
And
but-
that person, whoever feel that way about it, they should leave them alone.
No, and I'm just talking about in general. Like when we have conversations with it, we all have friends. We, may have friends that are married, friends that are single, this, that, and other. And when the honesty of conversations come up outside of the public eye, the truth is discussed. The truth is discussed. Men have real conversations. We had a real conversation in the parking lot that's not always for the public, right? As men, we never seen this man a day in my life. He came up to me and we ended up having a discussion like we don't know
saying
each other
you.
for 10 years.
Yeah, he knew who you were.
He's saying you. And like I say, when we have phone conversations outside of here, we have real conversations. It's not always, all women can't take that conversation. All men can't take the conversation that women have when y'all are private and y'all have, everybody can't take that conversation.
Okay, but maybe this is the whole purpose of us having.
I know, it comes out.
Yeah, we want to have those conversations between men and women. We want you to be honest in front of us.
Right.
Clearly,
You know
I
what I'm
have
saying?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly, I'll push
and
it.
That's what we're looking for. We want that honesty so other people can learn from that.
Right.
We need, it's only a small group of men that can do that, that can really speak up and talk and speak from her. And like DL said, we have to give it all out there to a woman because a woman is ready to do that. It ain't
it's
enough
scary,
men to do that. But now kind of women is kind of holding back a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? But I know some women that didn't gave it all and the man still clammed up.
Wow.
Like you
Well,
said,
then
people,
he's not the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And guess
Period.
what? And then too, but that woman still tries to hold on and think she can change him.
Well, see, that's not a healthy relationship. If you try to change a person, then it's not going to be healthy. It's going to be toxic.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be toxic.
That goes to what I said is
You cannot change
yeah.
anyone.
Even though we're
How you-
older, we
yeah.
still need a
Well,
structure.
how many, Miss Nicole, how many stories you hear about people trying to change somebody? Especially, I
And
know I
especially
hear
women. Women
think
all the
they
time
can
want to change their man.
Right.
a man into
Yeah.
something they want them to be for them.
So for the most part, women do. There are a lot of women that want to change a man that they're with if they see something. They want to change them, period, to conform to what they want. Like, I've learned to kind of fall back and just kind of watch. And I've learned that makes a difference because I've been in situations where I don't want to say I want to change the guy, but I want to have my way. So I've been in that type of relationship. And oftentimes or most times I've kind of like gotten my way. So then as I've gotten into another relationship and I didn't get my way, I was kind of like,
Well, you're talking about picking your battles then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Know how to pick your battles.
Yeah.
And we're,
So
we learned
that's
that
where I
from birth.
learned from.
But there are women out there, they'll get into a relationship with a guy and say, well, he's not generous. And I'm going to make him be generous because I'm going to do this. It's like trickery and all this other stuff. That's what we're talking about.
And you
And
can't-
that's just,
Now that's a conversation that don't
toxic.
always
Yeah.
come to the.
That's
That's a conversation that don't always come
Yeah.
to the table.
yeah.
That conversation right there doesn't
Oh, and
always
that's
come
real.
to the table.
And women say that.
And
And it's other things, too, that they want to
And
change
listen,
about a
and
man.
one thing about, like I said, being where you need to be in your life before you pursue these things.
Yes.
When you could do all of those things that you expect from somebody else on your own, then you could walk into a situation in a more genuine state.
You're
I had this
absolutely right.
conversation with an unknown friend yesterday, and we were literally like in depth in the conversation, and all the truth came out. All of it came out because the conversation whether it was about another party connected to both of us. Different relationships at different times. We were talking about different areas in our life. And what people were expecting from me. And some of the things that I was expressing to her, she was shocked. Even though we're the exact same age, we live in the exact same place and all that kind of stuff, it was shocking to her. Because the perception is that particular men deal with particular things a particular type of way. And all men aren't the same.
No.
All women
one-
aren't the same.
No, they're not.
You know, and reality doesn't always come to the head. Like you say, that generosity thing, a man being generous. What does it matter? Because guess what? If you could do everything for yourself and you place yourself and you sacrifice to put yourself in that position, that shouldn't even be a part of the conversation. Because once you tied into somebody and that status come about, then y'all won.
Right.
Those conversations are coming about a lot of times in situations that have no status. People talking about what the guy not doing for them, not what they man not doing for them.
Well, and it's well, you know what? And I hear a lot of women.
We got Rand Hayes Nicole raised her hand.
Men are doing the same thing. You know, they're vultures as well, and they're going after the women who have certain material things that they want, and they use sex to break these women down.
Yeah.
You know, to change them, to get what they want. I mean, that's not healthy.
DL,
And it's not
you've been-
genuine.
I know DL seen a lot.
We just had that conversation.
And
DL been
yes.
all over the world.
Yes,
I
he's
didn't
traveled
you know,
internationally.
I haven't been sitting on the bench, that's for sure. I gotta tell you.
But I haven't heard it like that in a long time. I haven't. I don't think I've heard a woman, because we so used to hearing about women manipulating men, that it's good to hear a woman say it.
Oh,
That there
yeah,
are a
that's-
lot of
that's
men
happening.
who fight the game. It's more women. It's 9-1. So it's a lot of men out here that's playing the game.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't hear about it as much. It's quiet. Because see, women are public about trying to get a guy. Men aren't necessarily public about trying to get at a woman to get what she want. They're not public about it. They
Well, but you know what? I think a lot of that is changing.
Well, by us living in a social media world, it don't come out.
yeah.
It don't come. A woman to get on a song or get on social media and say, if a guy ain't doing this for me, this, that, another woman. Men generally won't say that. They gonna be slick. They somewhere slick. Because they gonna lose the woman if they get to talking that slick stuff. They gonna lose her. The women don't care because it's, guys gonna come. I'm sorry, because you had your hand up like you had to use the
You
bathroom.
just said the conversation doesn't come into play. I think that's where.
Well,
I
what
was
she
trying to-
said, I could be honest, I haven't heard it much coming from the other side of the line. With her saying that men manipulate the women by using sex, this, that, and other to get what they want materially. Because I don't look at it in that view, because I've always been so
Because you're
far
not
ahead of the
that type
game.
of man, though.
Right.
But there are
Yeah.
men out there.
I
And
actually
know-
forgot about it until you said it.
Yeah, and I know women who are being used by guys like that now. They're very charming, and they're using them,
Oh,
you
shit,
know,
I need
for
to-
resources.
I need to try to go get me
And-
a car
And
I'm
it's
charming.
just pathetic.
2 days a week.
I know DL seen a lot.
I've seen a lot and walked a
Hey,
lot.
you know what?
I
Since
mean,
you, I know you've been everywhere. And I know you've been out of the country, right? Is the same thing that's going on here with everybody have a problem with relationship? Is that the same thing in other countries? Have you seen the same thing, like similar things? Everybody having problem with relationships? Because Five Star told me some things about what they do in other countries, and once you kiss a brother, we go together.
Oh, yeah.
Once we have sex, we date. We exclusive.
well, it varies country by country, but men are still men and women are still women. It don't matter where you're at. But different cultures definitely spin it a little ways. And I think that here in America, we got this materialistic thing going on, and we are just consumers, where other countries aren't like that. They're not looking at other people's phones, other people's materials the way we are over here. So it's a little bit more laid back over there, for sure. And depending on where you're at, there's different places where intimacy and sex is a little bit more casual too. So you can't really put specifics on a broad spectrum. It just depends on where you are. But men are still men and women are still women. I mean, that's really
Oh,
it.
because I'm fascinated with what goes on in other countries. I
Oh,
really am.
It's a big world out there.
Yeah.
And it's accessible. But it just comes back to giving honesty and receiving it. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I've dated both men and women, and I've been bisexual my entire life. And the first person I ever came out to was my girlfriend, because things were getting serious. And I was like, look, you should know I've dated men before. And she looks at me just like, really? But after we talked about it, it was cool. And I said, I'm exclusive with you, and you're my lady, and this is what we're doing.
I like,
Yes, this is with
this
the
is it.
honesty.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, but
It's all about the honesty.
I like that you did that, because now, by me, and cliche no, by me, I'm in Detroit. Can't too many people say they work in Detroit. I deal with Detroiters every day. Past 30 years, I've been dealing with them. What you just said was, I wish a lot of these men do it, because you know what I hate? These men that's getting out of prison, DL men, is come talking to good women like these and not letting them know that I do both. And I was like, that's a
That honesty
problem.
piece. Yeah.
That's a big problem. And I like that you said that, because a lot of these men, and I tell them in their face, I'm like, brother, you wrong.
He's
Well,
genuine.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, he's genuine.
Well, deceit is deceit. It doesn't matter what you're looking like. I mean, if you're working with deception, then it's not going to be a healthy relationship. And the fact of the matter
He
is,
just said it, deception.
Yeah, I guess that go back to the image thing too.
it is the
Yeah,
image
it's
thing.
deception.
It
Because
is.
me
Back
and
to
Keena
them.
talk about how deception is such a big
Wow.
like when I meet a woman and we talk, and then like I said, she go to my Facebook page, and 9 times out of 10, this is what I get. Man, you the same person I talk to that's on your page. And then when I see that they do that, I don't even talk to them no more.
You said that you're not the same person?
No, I'm
he
the
is.
Oh, you are
same.
the same
My
person.
image is who I am, and everybody cliche. Everybody 5-star got the. Everybody know my image, and I talk and speak this every day. But I see a lot of y'all women. Y'all got to deal with men, that's not doing that, and they try to boost whatever they think they have. And me and cliche, men. Oh, she'll meet a man, you meet a man. Oh, I'm doing this, blah 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 blah. And a lot of women out there fall for it. And then by the time, like 5-star say, he done whipped them up. It's a whole new ball game now. Because he has to use sex to manipulate them. By then, they didn't fell in. It's like, oh, well, he didn't have this or that. Maybe I can help him.
Well, we all
Exactly.
taught
Maybe I
about
can.
putting your best foot forward. Put your real foot forward.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
that's what
I
you're
like
going to
that.
be waking up to
I like that.
every day. I mean, we all put this best perception. Obviously, first impressions are a big thing. But that first date, you're going to be real with that person or not. Because that second date, third date is still going to be you.
Yes, it's definitely a game. It's definitely a
Yeah, a
game.
lot of them play. Like, I can ask each one of these women, when they, 9-10, you meet a man, can you tell from meeting him from that first conversation, is he bullshit or not?
A lot of times
Sometimes.
you can.
Yeah, you can.
A lot of
You
times
can.
you can.
No,
Yes,
hey,
you
listen.
can. Yes,
You
you
know
can.
what?
I'm talking
Yes,
about
you
the
can.
Women.
Yeah, yeah. I
Cliche,
think-
this is
what
not
they
about
do.
you.
I know.
This is not about you, sweetie.
Listen, people run game. The reason why I say that,
them.
the reason why I say that is because people run game all the time. It's like when you first meeting somebody. Listen, if you attractive and a guy's trying to get in with you, he could bring all the bullshit.
But guess what? I have. This is what I do. See, I'm gonna tell you something. Before I go on a date or do anything, I get centered. Okay, so I can tap into my intuition and I listen very carefully. And whatever's going on, however I'm feeling, I listen to that. I trust me. I don't trust anybody else, but I
Right.
trust me.
Right.
You trust what you're hearing.
That's it.
Trust what you're seeing.
Right.
Exactly.
I know this. Like I say, I'm a genuine person. So like regardless of how I've lived my life, what I've been through in my life, I'm always a man first. You know what I'm saying? How I made my money or what walk of life I come from, that has never deterred me from being a man first. So I've always carried myself as a man. What I did for a living was business. Right?
We ain't finna talk about what
No,
he
no,
might
no,
be.
I'm not.
We
I'm
ain't
being,
finna
I'm
get-
being, no, I'm being.
we gonna talk
No, but I'm
about
talking about-
healthy relationships.
Listen to me. Listen, a part of that healthy relationship
Because
is
you
presenting
either-
myself as a man. But the perception of it is that when I'm communicating with a woman, I'm communicating with a woman as a man, and I'm always going to be genuine. To be honest, I stay away from the negativity that may surround me, because when I'm dealing with a lady, as my grandmother would say, when I'm dealing with a lady, I have to be a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? So people can form their opinions or, whatever, but I'm all about being a man. Being a man comes first. And like you say, I'm not putting on no mask.
A lot of men need to use that to be in these healthy relationships.
Exactly.
They need to be honest
I'm
and
learning
straight
it,
up from the get go. And they got and they done made a lot of them made sex into a sport now.
Well,
And
that's
they
always
tricking,
Right.
yeah,
It's always been
and everybody is tricking each other. And then when they get it, somebody's gonna always be hurt.
We had a conversation earlier. And I said to her that a lot of women will come at me and they try to foundate themselves on looking good and whatever their sexual presence is, thinking that because I'm a man, that that's what's going to lure me in, right? And I say the things that I'm looking for from a woman, it's nothing sexual, and I don't care what you look like. Because if I want you, I want you. But the thing is, can't no woman approach me. If I want you, I'm going to approach you. So therefore, I'm going to approach.
Women give hints.
Yeah, I know.
I have hints.
But I'm still going to approach the woman that I want to take care of.
So you're gonna pursue her.
Yeah, I'm going to pursue her.
But let me
Like,
ask you, Dia, have you ever had a woman just give you a hint to letting you know that she interested in you and you followed up on it?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. When I was
women
in
do
school-
give hints.
When I was in school, women were more aggressive than the men sometimes.
yeah. They are now.
And
They really are.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
they're
They
sneaky
are.
about it too.
They,
They're real
they
sneaky.
are now.
And they're bringing
women are
up their
definitely
own
slicker.
perception of what's going on before it's even reality. And then you're saying, wait a minute, when did all this come from? Well, here it is. You saw the buildup when you stop and take a look at it. But the reality is men and women are afraid to being honest and putting it on the table. So it seems like we build up this little false reality going on. And when that false reality crashes down,
Comes to head.
then things blow up. And you're sitting saying, what happened? Well, because we didn't have that communication.
It was false. It was false
Right.
from the
What we
beginning.
built up in our own minds wasn't what was going on.
I think that the type of time that you spend with somebody really shows you their genuine nature.
And time is the best value to me.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because, like I tell women this all the time. Women could tell me that, they so focused on the dating structure. Oh, let's go do this. Let's go do that. I say, you know what? We're in fixed areas. We're in controlled areas. So no matter what we do, all we're doing is spending money. The only, a lot of times you have to do something a little bit more personal to get to know somebody in a more personal manner.
You know what? Meeting women, and me and Fi start talking about when I meet a woman and she wants to just start going out, start doing a whole lot of shit, that turns me off.
Me too.
That turns me off. That's because that ain't you can't continue that. That's supposed to be something to make y'all grow together and be happy. But at the beginning, oh well, you wanna do this, and we all know what that you mean.
But listen.
I want that 2-hour conversation.
What?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You want to go out. You want to see them in different settings to see how they handle different situations. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't see anything wrong with it. My thing is, if a woman shows the same initiative in coming up with a plan, I'm cool because I can afford
That's
to go
not
out
what I'm
every
talking
day.
about.
I know, but what I'm saying is, no, but see, you gotta listen to me. But listen,
I know, I've been listening.
no, but I'm
That's not
saying
what
when people
talking about.
going out, depending on what you're doing and how you relaying that time, if a woman is coming up with a plan and trying to be creative and bringing me out, and then she's trying to show me something, she's trying to take initiative,
Yeah.
then I don't care what cost this, that, and
No. See
Mm-hmm.
what you just said? The key word you just said and all that, creative.
Right.
These women ain't creative.
Right. They just talking about let's go out.
Yeah.
Let's go eat.
Take
Let's
you-
go
What
do
you
that.
think, Gina?
See, I'm
Yeah, I know you creative,
I don't
but I'm
like
talking
the-
about the women that's not creative.
Okay, so tell
know?
me, give me an example of not being creative when they ask you to go out.
They want to do the same urban shit that's always been doing.
Okay, so what is that?
Oh, let's go to Capers.
Or
Okay.
what?
Damn, you went real urban.
Yeah, I had to. I had to. Please say know what I'm talking about. But soon as they do,
y'all, see, one thing,
your mind is stuck.
they want to go eat. They want to do something that benefits them. They're not trying to do a lot of things that benefit getting to know one another.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So
That's
like,
the whole perception of dating. That's
Yeah.
dating.
It's
No,
it's
no,
it's
but
a
I'm saying-
stage of
Right,
exploration.
getting to know
You
each
know
other.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
But it is real nice when somebody comes to the table with something where it's not always on you. I love
Yeah.
it when
Oh,
somebody's like, make a suggestion. Hey, I really like doing this. Let's go check it out. Have you ever done this before? Oh, no, I haven't. All right, great. So it's bringing something other to the table than, hey, take me out.
Exactly.
the most attractive date in the world to me is something like somebody calling me saying, "Let's go to the museum."
Absolutely.
We could
So you
walk
like doing
around.
cultural things.
Yeah, we could walk around. We could learn about the world. We could learn about culture, and then we could communicate and share our ideas and what we're thinking with one another.
But that's what you're supposed to do in dating. That's why you have different types of dates. You know, you can do the cultural thing. You can go to have a picnic. I mean, where you can have that intimate time together. You can learn. I mean, there are just so many things that you can do.
Oh yeah,
I think a
how
lot
you
of
get to know a person.
Yes,
men.
exactly.
That's
You
exactly
know
how
what
you
though?
get to
A
know a
lot of
person.
men, like me and Kenny, a lot of men minds is stuck, and they stick to the same old urban dating.
Dinner in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how are you supposed to get to know somebody in a movie theater?
Thank you.
First
You
date.
know, or at a concert.
listen.
or
If
at
I
the
take
club.
No.
You got to do movie then dinner, so you can talk about the movie at dinner.
listen, listen. When I take a woman to
Exactly.
dinner, listen
That's
to
the
me.
proper order.
When I take a woman to dinner, I'm not even focusing on the food. You know what I'm focusing on?
Her.
I'm focused on the woman and the
Getting her.
conversation.
Yeah.
I could care less about the food.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gotta focus on the food.
Well, I'm fat. I'm
I
gonna
have
eat.
focus.
But what I'm
Yeah,
saying is,
yeah. I
I'm
mean,
focused
we
on that
both
woman.
got the duck.
Yeah. I'm
But
focused
just
on that
saying,
woman.
I have to focus on the food. I have to. I
Okay.
have to.
We need to wrap it up now. So we went over some of the characteristics that we think are important in a healthy relationship, and they are respect, communication, being genuine. Those are the top three. Now, so far as dating, what would you say would be a good? Well, what are some good questions that you would ask your date to determine if you're going to have a healthy relationship or a good relationship? Or
We
they're a
got
good
5 minutes.
candidate?
Let's go with Keena first.
Yeah, real quick. Just
No, well, let's go with DL then.
DL.
Okay.
Oh, let's
DL
go
can-
with Nicole.
DL. Let's start with DL.
Yeah.
What would be
What's
a
your
good question?
what you got planned for the future? Where are you going? Where do you see yourself? Not talk about right away what I can do for you or what we're doing. What are you doing? Because if your goals are just hanging out,
Yep.
then obviously we don't have much to talk about. Because at the end of the day, dreams is sexy. Intelligence is sexy. It's not what you're wearing, and it's not what you're driving.
Exactly.
Because this whole idea of people trying to better themselves is negative. That's the most flip thing I ever heard. So what are you doing? Because I might never see you again, and that's cool, but you're still going to be doing what you want to be doing. So that's number one right there.
Okay.
I don't think you can ask us no more. He just
Right.
Summed
He
it up.
answered
That's
that.
why I
Well,
should have went with me.
that was so deep right
Yeah,
there.
that was.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. I mean, he killed it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He
does
killed it.
anybody else have
I
anything
mean,
other than
to be honest, everything
Yeah,
that he
that was-
says sums it up. Because when you feeling somebody out, like I say, everybody's a new book. I'm not trying to bring the same thing to the table that I brought to the last woman that I dated. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to feel out that person. But I can't come up with nothing better than that. And I always
and then
got something
when
to say.
When he said dreams are sexy.
Yeah, intelligent.
Shit,
They
tell
are.
him nice
They
on the
are.
shoes. Dreams are sexy.
He
But you
said-
know what?
yeah.
But see, this is what women don't get an opportunity to hear, that is sexy. You know, when we're sitting around the kitchen table and we're trying to figure out what you guys want, we don't hear that.
I ain't heard that.
I enjoy
Listen,
hearing this.
I ain't heard that.
Yeah.
The woman, but like he said, it ain't what you look like and what you driving. You know what I'm saying? What's up here?
The
what's in
dreams.
your heart?
Yeah.
Your heart.
So
saying?
I have a question. So when a relationship is over and you start to get in a new relationship, do you take whatever went wrong in that old relationship
No.
and keep that? No. I'm not saying keep
Oh.
it, but keep that in the back of your head. Like, okay, I'm not going to do this in this next relationship.
Well, if
leave
you're
my-
conscious of it.
I leave my condiments at the
Right.
door. That's what
Yeah.
I call
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
I leave the
exactly.
condiments at the door because I'm making a new dish.
I
now.
used to do that a lot.
Well, the question you could ask yourself is, am I still friends with my exes? Because if you're not friends with any of your exes, you are the common denominator of all those relationships. So what's going on?
Yeah.
That's
Great
the
point.
reality.
A
What
great
about-
You don't
point.
even
what
have to
about-
be friends, but like at least be civil.
Be able to
know.
communicate.
What about 9 out of 10?
Hey, I'll take 90%.
Listen, I took that, like we was talking about how long it took for us after the marriages. It took for me a couple of years. I had to get myself together so I wouldn't bring anything. And I am in a very good place with the people in my past, with my ex and all that.
And I think a lot do with whoever you seeing, pay close attention to their friends.
Yeah.
That's
You have
important.
to pay. You have to
That
pay
helps the
close
relationship.
attention to their friends because if they got 5 good friends, one an asshole, you might can deal with that. If they close to that, but you gotta. And I had to learn that the hard way. Because you have to be around positive energy people 24/7
For a healthy relationship.
for a healthy relationship.
Absolutely.
Healthy relationship.
And I want to end it that this person should be able to compliment you. I mean, a lot of times folks can't do that, and all they can do is just point out the negative things about you, and that destroys a relationship.
Or they bring out that beauty, or they bring out what you're driving or what you have,
yeah.
but they're not digging into your qualities.
Yeah.
So
So they
Well,
need
I
to
want
be
to know what you're
complimentary.
going to look like the next morning when we wake up together. That's what I'm interested in. Not what
Or
you
10
look
years
like.
from now.
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause
exactly.
it comes and goes.
And what your mother looks like. No.
And I'm gonna tell you this, and if you don't watch Game of Thrones, that's a bad sign for me.
Well, hey, we all got priorities.
We can't get along.
It just went off
We all
though.
got priorities.
It just went off. It ain't on no more.
Come on at 9 o'clock. See, you ain't in GOT. You ain't in
No,
GOT.
this
I was
over
about
now.
to say you
This
need
was
to
the last
rushing home.
episode.
No, it's not.
It'll be
This
on
is
now.
one episode left.
Exactly.
Please say what you
No,
talking
this
about.
the last season.
This is the last
Yeah, I know.
season, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey,
I say this the last one.
Yeah, we're wrapping it up.
They got to catch up.
Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interject.
so we got some final comments.
Yeah, go ahead.
What
Make
we
the
got?
final one. Yeah.
Go ahead.
We got a minute left.
I feel like I've been doing a lot of talking, but I
No,
really
no,
Hey,
it's a
I appreciate
conversation.
y'all
Yeah, it's
having me out
conversation.
here. Shout out to the First Lady of Techno, Kahan.
Yes.
Love you much, and hopefully you have me again. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Make sure
for
you
having us.
subscribe.
Leave comments, messages like y'all been doing, and listen and have fun. Think about them healthy relationships. Randy looking at me like,
Are we done?
we got minutes.